Hey guys. So, we're going to try doing this video lesson, see how it goes. I want your guys' feedback, not only to answer questions and things that I ask, but to let me know if you think this works, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. It's a little hard to do like a video conference where we all get together on the video and talk and teach that way just because our schedules are different. Some people, excuse me, some people haven't gotten on to do things yet, and we're still kind of working out the kinks. So I'm going to try this, see how it works, and if we like it, we can keep doing it, and if we don't like it or it doesn't work, we'll try something different. So today we're going to use it I'm going to try to teach a writing lesson like I would if we were back in class. It's going to be really hard though because you guys can't ask questions right away, and I can't answer those questions right away, so it's going to be a little different, but we're going to try our best, okay? So, for writing over the next couple of weeks, what we're going to be working on is poetry. Um, you guys all know poetry, whether you think about it or not, because every song you listen to, if you look at just the lyrics of the song, that's a poem. It's just set to music, so it's a little bit easier to remember. It's catchier, and more people know it. But really, if you look at the lyrics to a song, it's just poetry. So we're going to talk about poetry and how poetry is different than regular writing. And I'll read an example to you today. I'll have a couple questions for you, and that's your assignment today will be to respond to those questions. Remember, this is our writing class, so it needs to be complete sentences. It's very important, that we're keeping up good writing practices, okay? So, I want you to think first in your head, what makes something a poem? What makes it a poem versus just regular writing? And think in your head, maybe one or two things that you think that's different for a poem than it is for writing. So get those two things in your brain. I know when I think about poems, I think about rhyming is one thing that happens a lot. Not always, but usually when we think about poems, they rhyme. And I think about shorter lines. In a book, they write all the way across the page, versus poetry, they sometimes only write in little chunks or little lines. So that's two things that I think about when I think about poetry. Is that always the case? No, sometimes it can be different, but those are just two things that I know I associate with poetry. So I'm going to read a poem to you guys. Um, if you have your student writing handbook, I believe it's on page 36. So if you want to pause the video really quick, go grab your student writing handbook. It's on page 36 so you can follow along. I'm going to read it twice. The first time I have a couple vocab words I'll tell you about, and then I'll read it a second time without going over those vocab words. So if you don't have that in front of you, that's okay. I will post a picture of it or a copy of it so you can see it, but it is also in your student writing handbook. So grab that and follow along if you would like, okay? So this is a poem called September by John Updike. It says, "The breeze tastes of apple peel. The air is full of smells to feel. Ripe fruit, old footballs, drying grass, new books and blackboard, chalk in class. The bee his hive, well honeyed, hums. Well honeyed means a lot of honey. While mother cuts chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemums are a type of flower that grow in the fall. Like plates washed clean with suds, the days, suds are soap bubbles, are polished with a morning haze." I'm going to read that one more time. Listen carefully. The breeze tastes of apple peel. The air is full of smells to feel. Ripe fruit, old footballs, drying grass, new books and blackboard, chalk in class. The bee his hive well honeyed hums, while mother cuts chrysanthemums. Like plates washed clean with suds these days, are polished with a morning haze. So that's our poem September by John Updike. And again, I'll ask these questions in the video, just so if you want to, you can pause the video and go answer this one question right now, or you can wait until it's all over and answer all the questions afterwards. It's up to you. I'm not there to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you a couple different options, okay? So my first question to you, and I want at least 2 sentences written to answer this question, is what did you imagine as you listened to this poem? If you need to, you can rewind the video and listen to it again. I suggest closing your eyes, taking just a minute, and what do you picture, what do you imagine when you hear the poem read out loud? Not necessarily when you read it yourself, when you hear it read out loud. Write 2 sentences to tell me what you imagined as you listened to the poem. Okay? After you're done answering that question, I have another one for you. What sensory details does the poet use to help you see what the month of September is like to him? The whole poem's called September. It's about the whole month. He talks about the days in September. So what sensory details did he use? Did he use sound, feel, smell, taste? Which one of those did he use, and how do you know? Use references in the text, so that's why you need the text out or a picture of it, so you can use clips. Clips isn't the right word. Phrases and quotes from the text. Use those to help you show how you know what sensory details he was using. Okay. So let me see. Hold on. So most poems include sensory details. It's interesting. They make me think of like perfume and cologne commercials. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but perfume and cologne are things that you smell, right? It's something that maybe your mom or your dad wears, a body spray or something. Deodorant has scent and things to it as well. And they try to sell you those things over a TV where you can see and hear, but you can't smell. So how can they get that sensation across, that feeling across of what it smells like without being able to share the smell with you? How do they do that? So poems, I think, are a little bit like that because they try to make you hear, smell, see things that it's just words on a page, right? How do they do that? So most poems include sensory details. So when they have sensory details, they help us to see, hear, smell, taste, and feel what's happening. More so than regular writing. In regular writing, we include sensory details to kind of help our reader create an image in their brain or kind of relate to what's going on. But with poems, it's so much more about the sensations and the feelings. Think about the songs that are out now, love songs, things like that. They help you feel an emotion, even though maybe you're not going through it. They make you feel happy, sad. They make you feel joy. They make you feel anxious just by using words and music. So think about how poetry can do that just using the words, and they can access all of your senses, sight, smell, hearing, all of that stuff. So that's one thing about poems is that they have sensory details. What else do you think makes September, the poem we just read, a poem? What qualifies it to be a poem? So that's another question I'm going to have you answer. I need at least 1 to 2 sentences to answer that question. What else do you think makes September, what we just read, a poem? So for your writing today, so you're going to answer these couple questions and then you're going to do just a little bit of writing. You can do it in your writing journal. If you'd rather handwrite, that's fine. You can answer the questions there and then submit a picture, or you can type your answers in the note that I'll attach to this and just write it there. But here's your writing assignment for today. So you'll answer those couple questions, and I want you to imagine that you're writing a poem like September for the month of July, okay? What words and images might we include in a poem to help our reader see, hear, smell, and feel the month of July? I'm going to include in the note a short list of a couple ideas about July that you might use. You can absolutely come up with more of your own. If there's something that you thought of right now that's not listed in that list, you don't have to use those things. This is just kind of a starter kit for you to help you get started. I want you to write for at least 10 minutes, okay? Whether you write down just a bunch of ideas for 5 minutes and then you actually write a poem in the last 5, that's fine. If you spend the whole time writing ideas, also fine. If you want to write a poem and it takes 10 minutes, also totally fine. Remember, there's no formula for poems. It doesn't have to be written the same way that September is written. If you want to try and copy that form and do it with July, totally fine. That's awesome. If you want to write a totally different form of poem, that's fine too. Just make sure that it qualifies as a poem. Okay? So again, there's not really any rules with that, but it can't be just like our regular writing, like paragraph writing. That's not a poem really, right? So for 10 minutes, set a timer on your iPad, set it on your phone, on your parents' phone, whatever. I want you to write for 10 minutes about the month of July and see if you can make a poem. Okay? Whatever writing you have done, that's what you'll submit. whether it's just a list of ideas or maybe you get the start of a poem done. If you want to write longer, absolutely write longer. We have that cool freedom now where we don't have to stop and move on to something else. So if you want to write for longer, please go ahead and do that. But at least 10 minutes, try and come up with at least the beginning of a poem about July. If you have questions, please send me an email, send me a chat on the Google Chats thing. Maybe a friend on there can help answer your question too. Excuse me. And I'm so excited to see what you guys have to come up with. I think July is a really cool month to do this with because you've got 4th of July, summer cookouts, barbecues, all that kind of stuff. And I think that there's a lot of really great sensory details there that you guys can cling on to. So run wild with it. Imagine what you're going to be doing this July. Hopefully everything works out and we're able to continue to do the things we want to do in July. I'm really excited to see your poems. Send me emails, questions, whatever you guys have got. I miss you guys so much, and I hope that this works out. But please also let me know at the very bottom of your journal or of your writing if you thought I liked the video lesson with Miss Tolson or I'd rather it just be in writing form. This was a little hard to do just in writing form because it's a little longer, but whatever works best for you guys is what we'll try and make happen. So good luck, and I can't wait to read them.